Amigos, welcome. Stuart here from Spain Speaks with a new type of video today. This is going to be the first video in a series called Stu Cooks Spain, and something simple to start with today. A couple of classic sandwiches here in Spain. Well, in fact, only one sandwich, but two different ways I'm going to make it. One is going to have chicken, one is going to have pork, and of course the famous sandwich, probably the most famous sandwich here in Spain, is called the Serranito, which comes from the south of the country. Now, as I said, two main ingredients: chicken and pork loin cut into fillets. Of course, the chicken has also been cut into fillets. We've got some green peppers, and we've also got a tomato, and the final ingredient that goes on this sandwich is Spanish ham, good quality Spanish ham, which is what I've got, and also some mayonnaise, which is a little bit controversial, I'm going to say, because some people say yes, you need to put mayonnaise on this sandwich. Other people say no, you don't need to put mayonnaise on this sandwich, but I'm going to put mayonnaise on and see if it adds anything to this sandwich, the Serranito. So let's get started. Let's heat up the pan and start cooking the ingredients, shall we? Let's go. Now, the first thing I need to do is get this outdoor stove cranked up. Let's see if it's working. There we go. All right, I'll just control the heat a little bit. Make sure we get the pan nice and hot. And this is also a secret ingredient of this sandwich: olive oil. Now, some people will fry their green peppers or their capsicums in an abundance of olive oil, a deep fry, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to go for a shallow fry with my green peppers. Also, for the chicken and the pork, it's just going to be a shallow fry, bit of oil in the pan, as you can see there, because I don't want to drown any of the ingredients, especially those green peppers. But I would say that the majority of people that are making this here in Spain, if you buy it in a bar or somewhere like that, the peppers would have been deep fried in olive oil. Now, we'll just wait for this oil to get nice and hot on this beautiful day here in Spain. Absolutely fantastic, around 21, 22 degrees Celsius, a little bit overcast, so that's why the colors in this video are going to change. They're going to be bright, they're going to be a little bit dark sometimes, but that's what we're dealing with today. And thankfully, it's not too hot, because soon it will get too hot to be cooking outside here. So I reckon that oil is just about hot enough for the first thing to go in today, which are the green peppers. Let's put them in. Let's see. Yep, so they're spitting away. I've washed them as well. And this is going to be the thing that takes the longest to cook today, these green peppers. Again, if you had them deep frying, it might take a little bit less to cook them, but here in the shallow fry, it might take a little bit longer. So while they're cooking away, I'll make sure that I control them. I'll tell you about sandwiches and rolls, as we call them in Australia, here in Spain. Historically, I haven't been a huge fan of the rolls or sandwiches here. They always seem a little bit bland, in my opinion, but this one is one of the tastier ones, I will say, the Serranito. And you can really hear that crackle coming off the green peppers. And these are a very nice addition to this particular dish. I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit, because they're starting to burn on one side. I don't want them to get too burnt. As you can see there, they do cook fairly quickly, but again, if they were deep fried, they'd take a lot less, that is for sure. I've just realized that I've forgotten my knife, so I'm just going to pop inside and get that, and hopefully these won't get too burnt. A lot of oil spitting at me there, so it could be a little bit messy. See that one? That's just getting a little bit too burnt there, so I'll just move that over to the side of the pan if I can. Put that down, bring the heat to a minimum, grab that knife. Now I'm back with my knife. I'm just going to turn these over. So I don't want them to get too burnt on one side. If I can turn them over, that is. They're coming away nicely there. That skin can always be removed if you don't want to have the more burnt bit there. So let's just turn those over. And this pan is getting quite hot, I will say. See if I can just turn that down to the absolute minimum so it doesn't go out of control. Now, let's get the tomato, just a supermarket tomato. And this apparently needs a tomato cut in slices. Some of the sandwiches here in Spain, you'll get tomato which has been passed through some type of mixer. It'll be like a puree, if you like. But here we're using tomato. Put that back on the plate. There we go. That bit there I don't need, so I'll put that over there. And it is one of the key ingredients of this dish, of course. Not only the green peppers. Could you use red peppers? I think you probably could, but I've gone for green. And this variety of green pepper here in Spain is called an Italian green pepper. Pimiento Italiano. Not sure why. Maybe it comes from Italy or originates from there. But that is what it's called at the supermarket, Pimiento Italiano. So, I'll let that cook away for another minute or two before I remove them, put them back on the plate here with the tomato. And the quality of the ham. Important here in Spain, there's lots of different ham varieties. You've got cheaper cuts of ham, of course. You've got more expensive ones. This one is in the middle. I picked this up online, and for a decent price, I will say. No complaints about what I paid for that ham, and it's a good quality ham as well. Standard chicken, standard pork, standard green peppers, standard tomato, and hopefully we're going to have a fantastic, authentic Spanish sandwich, the Serranito. That is what I'm hoping for today. Now these green peppers are coming along nicely. They're starting to soften, which is what you want, because obviously you don't want an undercooked green pepper in your Serrano sandwich. That is for sure. So we'll let those cook away, and I'll be back in a minute. Now these are just about where I want them. They might be a little bit overdone, but as I said before, you can always get rid of that if you don't want to have the char. Just cut that off. I'm going to put those on the plate there. And the next thing that's going to go in is going to be the pork. Now, first thing we need to do is season the pork a little bit. Get a little bit of salt on there on both sides. A little bit of salt on both sides. There we go. Beautiful. And we don't want any more oil. I'm just going to cook these as is. You could put a bit more oil in there if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. So I don't want too much oil with what I'm going to be eating today. And straight away, the pork sizzles away here beautifully. Let's get that plate out of the way. Bring another plate in to put the pork on when it's done. And we'll cook these for a couple of minutes. They're fairly thin slices, as you can see. You don't want them too thick, but of course, if you buy a pork loin, cut them yourself. You can have them whatever thickness you want, right? And pork and chicken, two ingredients that need to be fairly well cooked, in my opinion. You don't want either of the two raw, I don't think, especially chicken. Pork nowadays, I think the rules have changed a little bit concerning pork. It used to be that it had to get to a certain temperature to be safe to eat. That temperature's come down, apparently, or at least that's what I have read. And this pork is taking on a nice color as well. And one thing I'm learning using this little outdoor cook-up is that it does heat the pan quite a lot, and you've got to be careful that things are not getting too burnt, like for example these things here. But again, you can just take off that skin. As you can see here, I'm just taking off some of that skin, the burnt skin, if you don't want the char, and that's fairly easy to do, of course. Now we'll give this pork another minute or so. You can see that it's getting quite well done there, and I think the chicken's going to be cooked in no time as well. So I would say that this pork is done. As I said, it doesn't take long. So we'll take that out of the pan there. What I want to do is just turn this off for a minute and give this pan a bit of a clean, because it is a little bit dirty here, so let's try and get some of this burnt stuff off the bottom of the pan. Let's clean that up, and we'll go in clean for the chicken. Now, put that over there. Get some more oil in the pan. There we go. Turn it back on. Then bring the heat right down. And that's fairly hot at the moment too. Let's put in this chicken. Firstly, I need to season it. That's what I forgot to do. Let's season the chicken. Again, on both sides, we will season the chicken, because this is all part of the experience, having a nice seasoned chicken. Just with salt. You could put pepper on there as well if that's your thing, but I'm just going with salt straight into the pan. You can hear the sizzle. There we go. That's going to take no time at all. Just wash my hands. We can see the chicken starting to get a nice colour. Might actually turn that up just a little bit till I get used to the controls on this little portable stove, which is extremely handy for outdoor cooking. Let's be honest about this. Simple, doesn't cost a lot of money. You've got a little gas canister there. Plug it into the side. You can buy this from any hardware store. I think I bought it from a sports store called Decathlon. So you can buy it from any type of place like that. And for outdoor cooking, absolutely fantastic. And my mouth is starting to water with all of these ingredients almost ready. I've got the bread over there. I've gone out today and bought some nice bread. And this is going to be the key to the Serrano sandwich as well. Good quality bread. And when you're living in a country like Spain that does have fantastic weather, I'm not going to say the whole of the year, because here you can't be outside doing this for at least 3 months of the year, those winter months, and also in the peak summer months. Very, very difficult to be outside doing this. But today, no problem at all. And I think this chicken is just about ready. We've got some nice colour on that, as you can see there. And this will be the end of the cooking process. So let's put the chicken onto the plate here as well. And those are the main ingredients here. Finished. And all ready to mount the sandwich or the roll, which is going to be the fundamental part. What's the order of the layers on the sandwich going to be? I don't know. I've seen some pictures online, also some videos, so I'm going to follow what I have seen, but I reckon I'm going to be able to put together a decent sandwich. So that's going to be the next thing. Now we come to the most important moment in the video today, the putting together of the sandwich, if you like. And as I said, I've got some fantastic bread here, which I'm going to cut in half, and then of course open the bread up as well. Do that with both of them. There we go. We've got that done. Let's open that up. And beautiful bread, which hopefully means that we're going to have a fantastic sandwich today. So, what am I going to do first here? Well, I'm going to put some mayonnaise. Now, I read online that mayonnaise is optional. Some people have this with aioli, what they call alioli here in Spain. But I've just gone for some normal mayonnaise, just out of a jar, nothing fancy. I didn't make my own mayonnaise up, which I could have done, but I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to those things sometimes. And it doesn't always turn out for me, that's for sure. Sometimes I don't get a very good quality mayonnaise. So we're going to cover the bottom of that bread with the mayonnaise, spread it out all over there. And now we're going to start to layer our sandwiches that we have here today, starting with the pork. You can see the juices come out of that. So I'm going to put that down on top of the mayonnaise, 2 slices. I've got 3 slices of chicken, which I'm going to put here. Let's go overboard. Let's put 3 down. Bit of the juice here as well. I'm going to put that on top of the pork. That's going to add some lovely flavour. Absolutely. Put that over there. Now, the next thing I think should be the ham. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I bought these little ham tongs. So let's see if they work. Let's put this on top of here like that. There we go. And I'm sure I'm going to get lots of comments of people saying, oh no, you need to put the pork on before, or you need to put the pork on afterwards, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm putting it on like this, because this is the way that I think it's going to look better and taste better, in my opinion. Now, don't hold back on the pork. There's plenty of pork on there, as we can see. Let's put that over there. Now, what's next? I think we need to put the tomato. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 slices there, and 1, 2, 3 slices there as well. I reckon only 3. And I'm going to put a little bit of salt on top of the tomato, just only a little bit. And that is now starting to take shape nicely. And the final thing that I'm going to put on here are these green peppers. 2 and 2. Okay, so everything, if I'm not mistaken, is on top of this sandwich. Now, you could put a little bit more salt on top of those green peppers if you wanted to. I'm not going to, because I don't want to go overboard with salt. But here we have the Serranito. And again, should you toast the bread, not toast the bread, it all comes down to personal preference. I, for example, haven't done it, primarily because I forgot to do it, but I reckon we're going to have a decent sandwich here nonetheless. Now, I'm going to cut into both of these, get a look at the cross section. There we go. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but that's the cross section of what we've got going on here today. Take a look at that. There you go. That's the chicken Serranito, and this is the pork Serranito right there. Take a look at that. And one thing left to do, sit down and try these rolls. I'm going to say I'm absolutely starving, so let's get stuck into that. Now, my biggest dilemma currently is trying to work out which one I'm going to eat first. Don't worry, I'm not going to eat them all. I'm going to eat half of one and half of the other. And I'm going to start with the chicken, because chicken in a roll is one of my favorite things. And again, the cross section here, the smell coming off this, the green peppers especially, those charred green peppers, absolutely delightful. Let's bite in. And that is a wonderful combination of flavors. The chicken, the green peppers, the tomatoes, the ham, the mayonnaise, decent bread. What more do you want? And you saw what it was like to make. Not the hardest thing in the world to make by any means. And it's a fairly decent sandwich, I will say. Simple ingredients, but when they're all put together, the flavors are incredible. The chicken seasoned well, those green peppers are soft and tender, with just that hint of a char coming through as well. And it's easy to see why this is one of Spain's best and most famous sandwiches. Washing everything down today with a nice little glass of Spanish red. Beautiful. And time for the pork Serranito, which a lot of people say is the only way that you can eat a Serranito, the traditional way, the classic way, or at least that's what I have read. But for me, the chicken's pretty darn good, and it's going to be hard to beat. There's that cross section again. You can see what we've got going on here. Pork, perfectly cooked. All of the other ingredients as well. Let's bite in. And this might be the classic way to eat this sandwich, but for me, the chicken's slightly ahead. Again, it's the softness and the char of those green peppers. Also that Spanish ham in there as well. Mayonnaise for me is needed, I think. Gives the bread a little bit of moisture. And the tomatoes, yeah. Last piece now. And that is my Serranito roll experience here today. One with chicken, one with pork. Which one do you think I like the most? Stick around. So that is my meal experience today here in Spain, the Serranito sandwich, which lives up to the reputation of being Spain's best sandwich, I would say. The ingredients go well together. Do you like chicken? Do you like pork? I don't mind. I think they both go well in this sandwich. If I had to choose between either of the two, I would say that this one here, the chicken one, for me personally is better because I like chicken. It's as simple as that. And the pork was a little bit chewier. That's my biggest complaint with the pork. The ham, fantastic. The green peppers, fantastic. The tomato, the mayonnaise, good quality bread. Should it have been toasted? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Do you toast the bread or not? I don't mind. I enjoyed both of those sandwiches. But the winner for me, easily, the chicken Serranito. Washed it down with a nice glass of this wine here. What more do you need? You saw how easy it was to make. The ingredients were simple. Fry a bit of chicken, fry some pork, fry some green peppers, cut some tomatoes, get some ham, and away you go. A fantastic sandwich. I'm going to give that, even though I cooked it myself, a solid 4.8 out of 5. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Is this something that you would like to make and eat? Let me know in that comment section below. Is this one of your favorite sandwiches here in Spain, the Serranito, or do you have another one that you would like to see me make and eat on the channel? Let me know. Until the next one, hasta luego. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video when I record it. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't as well. Until the next video, hasta luego from an overcast Central Spain.